Cases of the flu, RSV, and COVID-19 are on the rise across the country. As the illness spreads, so does the demand for medicine. Right now, many pharmacies are limiting the number of over-the-counter drugs that people can buy. This afternoon, Dr. Matthew Else with Utica Park Clinic is here to discuss the best ways to keep you and your family healthy. Thanks so much for being here this afternoon.
Absolutely.
I tell you what, it seems like, it feels like everyone's coming down with something this time of year. How concerning has this wave of viruses been for you guys?
The most concerning part is going to be the staffing and, like you mentioned, the medication shortages that we're seeing, because we really want to take care of people, but with everything being so difficult lately, it's kind of hard to get people in and get them seen for the treatment that they need. Sure. Now,
between flu, COVID, and RSV, is there one particular virus that y'all are seeing more of right now?
It seems like every day it's a flip of a coin.
Right.
A few weeks ago, we were dealing a lot with RSV, even in adults, and then it was flu, and now I'm seeing even more COVID coming back up. So it's a little bit of everything, and we kind of just have to go back to the measures of washing our hands and protecting ourselves in order to prevent the infections in the first place.
Sure. What's your best advice for people that feel like they're coming down with something? They wake up, got a sore throat, or whatever. You know how it is when you feel like you're coming down with something. What's your advice to those people?
It's a good idea to track your symptoms, figure out when symptoms started. That can really give us an idea of when the best time to test you is. A lot of times you'll want to test right away because you want to know and you want to get the medications that you need so that you feel better. But that's not necessarily the best answer. There's certain times, 3 to 4 days into your illness, when the test is going to be most accurate. So tracking when symptoms started, letting us know what the symptoms are, it can really help us narrow down what test might be best for you. And then keep in mind too, we have these tests for RSV, flu, and COVID, but there are hundreds of other viruses out there that this could also be, and so you might get a negative test but could still be dealing with a virus.
Sure. Well, what about people with children? The kids wake up, your parents always know something's going on. What should their first steps be?
Well, obviously it's kind of hard for the kiddos to be able to express what's going on with them, but try to see what's bothering them the most. Is there something going on with their stomach? Is it mostly their sinuses? You can try some of the over-the-counter medications you have at home. If those aren't working or if symptoms are progressing rapidly, you can reach out to your doctor. And there's portals online that you can reach out to. The phone lines are very busy, so we hate to have you wait on hold, but we'll try to answer whatever we can. And then at Utica Park Clinic, we do have the option for on-demand visits by going to uticaparkclinic.com/video visits. And so if your doctor is pretty full and busy, you can hop on there, and usually within 10-15 minutes, you will be connected with one of our providers that can kind of get the history and see how they can help you more rapidly without even having to go in the office.
Sure. A really big concern for parents right now is the shortage of the over-the-counter medication for their children. What would your advice be? Could you give them a smaller dose of the adult version of that medicine, or what should they do in that case?
That's a toughie. It's going to be dependent on what the medication is, how old your kiddo is, what the weight is. So if it comes to that where you're trying to make that decision, definitely talk with your doctor or the nurse and see if there is a conversion that they would allow. Keep in mind, kids are pretty resilient. Our bodies are amazing. We are able to handle a lot of these viruses on our own, and some of the over-the-counter meds are symptomatic treatment. They're not going to make the virus go away faster, but it's going to make it a little bit easier for you to feel better quicker. So if it's a virus, we'll work our way through it, and it just might be a little more difficult if we don't have the medications to make it easier.
Right, I think that's an important distinction there. A lot of the over-the-counter medication kind of helps some of the symptoms. It's not going to solve your problem entirely. It'll just make you maybe get to sleep a little bit quicker.
Right, and keep in mind too, if it's a virus, an antibiotic is not going to help. So if you get a negative test on all the virus, the COVID, the flu, that doesn't mean we jump straight to antibiotics. We need to clearly define whether or not that's going to be anything that's useful to prevent any resistance to develop in the future.
Yeah, always take the advice of your doctor who is ever treating you that day.
Sure.
Certainly. Okay, thank you so much. Hey, good luck,
Thank you guys.
We're thinking about y'all.